Hey, it's Kim at Carolina Sewing Back. We wanted to just take a moment today and show you we're sewing out the kimberbell mug rugs in the hoop. And if you've never seen a project done in the hoop, number one, you'll be able to see a complete project done in the hoop. Some steps we're going to have to edit out for time's sake, of course. And also you're going to be able to see how to applique directly in your embroidery machine. This is the design pack that we're doing today, the kimberbell mug rugs. And she has so many different seasonal mug rugs built right in. Now last Christmas I did my own mug rugs and it took forever. But with kimberbell, she's got them. They're already ready to go and they're great. You can do multiple mug rugs in your hoop. Some of you have the really large hoop and you can even blow them up if you want. So let's get started, okay? The first thing you'll see is we have a placement stitch already sewn down, but I'm going to restitch this for you today so that you can actually see it. We're floating warm and natural batting on top of no show. So when you're ready, you lower and we're ready to go. And I don't think I have thread in. Let me get my thread in. There we go. I'm just going to do it in white. And let's let that sew. This is actually going to lay down a placement stitch for us. We're going to be able to see how big our mug rug actually is, but also make sure that our fabric is cut to the correct size before the stitching is done. This is a great way to use up all your scraps. It's almost done with our perimeter, so our complete outline is there. The next thing it's actually going to do is it's going to piece two pieces of fabric together, but it's going to give me a placement stitch for that first. So once again, I'm going to drop my foot and hit the start button. At this point, you'll see that placement line come down clearly. And I'm going to select and get ready my two fabrics. I'm actually going to use the black and white dot. With the white on the side. So what I'm going to do first is lay the black and white dot down, and so that there's not a lot underneath my white peeking, I'll just position that down. This is a great time to use your glue stick pen. I love using these. It gets the fabric placed right in place and you don't have to worry about it floating up. This is our second piece. Again, lower the foot and we're ready to begin. I know that today it may be a little bit hard to see because I've got my white thread on, but I hope you can see my stitching line. It's being dropped right now. Did you see how I just put my fingers right in there? Another no-no is try to keep your hands out of there. And so if you're one of those that feels like you have to get little wrinkles and pulls out of the way, always use a stiletto. Clover makes this one. It's nice and beefy. I love it because the tip of it with the silicone grabs the fabric, and also you have a nice pointed end. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring this fabric and flip it over, and you can actually see that it's ready now for our next applique. Really quick before I show you what to do, some of us, especially quilters, love to iron, and we don't always have time to do that. So the fabric folding pen I found great for in the hoop projects. There's a solution that it drops right down on that line, and when you fold it back and just finger press it, it is just like you've actually ironed it at this point. Now, just to make sure that my fabric doesn't float back in place, I do want to drop a little bit of glue right on. I'm going to slide my hoop back on, and my baby lock locks in place, so let me get that locked in place. I'm going to actually skip the next stitch because what it is background stitching, where it's programmed in to actually do background. So on my machine, I'm going to just quickly advance And when I advance at this point, it's going to lay the placement stitch for my snowman. Today I'm going to put a white snowman on a black background. And so one thing that I've learned through the years is sometimes with white you can see through that fabric. So many times I will double that fabric up so that you can't see through. Once your placement stitch is down, watch this. We're just going to take our piece of white fabric and let that stitch in place. What's being attached now at this point is a straight stitch. It's the head of our snowman. And in just a moment you'll see that we're going to need to take not our fabric out of the hoop, but our hoop out of the machine. So hoop out of the machine only, and we're going to trim this away. I like to use the K. Buckley applique scissors for this. They're curved, they're easy to grip, and they give you a nice close cut. So Jordan's going to zoom out for us a little bit, and I'll show you what we do. Anytime you're doing your trim work, you actually need to do it on a flat surface. If you don't have a flat surface to work on, a lot of times we like to work right inside on our lap. So what I've done is I've just taken a clipboard and I keep my K. Buckleys at the top. You can clip the hoop itself to your clipboard, and then you have a flat surface to hoop to cut all your stitches. That way your stabilizer doesn't stretch. So right now you can see I'm going to just go right around this and trim. With Kimberbell's designs, I found that we just need to cut about one thread on the other side of her stitching. And then her satin stitch usually comes right back on top perfectly. And with the K. Buckleys, with the curve, you can trust them to just scoot right up under the bottom. Now I know that this snowman has got a nice toboggan on, so I've chosen my fabrics for that. We're going to quickly put this right back in the machine now. Slide your hoop on and be sure to lock. The next placement stitch is going to be where his hat is actually going to fall. So again, what we would actually do at this point is lay the applique fabric down, let the stitch come around, take the hoop out of the machine, trim, and put it back in. Now when all your different layers are done, and as you can see on the screen, he has his hat on and the trim work. What you'll see when all that is actually done and in place is we need to come back with the satin stitch. So I want to show you what that satin stitch looks like when it comes back on. So I'm going to advance to that point, and while the machine is stitching, you'll be able to see that the satin stitch will come in and finish our snowman off. During the stitching of this entire mug rug in the hoop, this is the way all your stitching takes place. So if you've never appliqued in the hoop before, this basically is how all your different types of fonts and design discs work. They give you a placement stitch, applique fabric goes down, a straight stitch, pull your hoop out of the machine, trim your fabric away, and then it'll come back with a nice satin stitch on the edge. Now you'll see that when this is actually completed, it actually has one more step. We need a backing, don't we, on our mug rug. And so during that last stitch, we'll lay the back of our fabric right side down on our mug rug, and a straight stitch will come all the way around, leaving us an opening. And once that's done, it looks similar to this. You can see that the embroidery work has been done on the side, on the top, and on the side you have an opening. And you just trim away your stabilizer and fabric, and all you have to do is simply turn your mug rug right side out, and I hate to hand sew because it is a 4-letter word. You can actually put this mug rug right on your machine and top stitch it all the way down, or for those of you who like to sit and hand sew, you can stitch your opening shut. But then you'll see that your mug rug is actually done from beginning to end right inside the hoop of your machine, and so it makes it so fun and easy. Make sure you come in and get some of these great Kimberbell packs at Carolina Sewing Vac. We've got the mug rug Kimberbell packs in stock.